The headlines were merciless. Toyota shutters Georgetown plant. American dream derailed. The news hit like a thunderclap, echoing through every home, every street, every heart in Georgetown. For decades, the plant had been a symbol of hope, stability, and pride. A place where generations built not just cars, but futures. It was Christmas Eve, 2025. A day meant for family, warmth, and celebration, not heartbreak and uncertainty. Instead of laughter and holiday cheer, a heavy silence settled over living rooms as families tried to process the unthinkable. In Georgetown, Kentucky, the massive Toyota plant, once alive with energy and purpose, fell eerily silent. The hum of industry, the clang of machinery, the steady rhythm of progress, all gone in an instant. The last Lexus ES sedan rolled off the line, not to applause or celebration, but to stunned silence. Workers watched, some with tears in their eyes, as the final car disappeared into the distance, marking the end of an era. For thousands, this wasn't just a job lost, it was the end of a way of life. The plant had been the heartbeat of the community, providing purpose, identity, and security for generations. Outside, workers in Toyota uniforms clutched severance notices, faces etched with disbelief and fear. Some stared at the ground, others hugged each other, searching for comfort in a moment that felt unreal. The familiar hum of machinery was replaced by anxious whispers. What now? What would tomorrow bring? The uncertainty was suffocating, and the future felt suddenly fragile. This wasn't a slow decline, it was a sudden, brutal cut. One day the plant was alive, the next it was gone, leaving shockwaves in its wake. Rumors had swirled for months, but no one truly believed it would come to this. Not at TMMK, Toyota's North American crown jewel, a plant that had set the standard for quality and innovation. The official reason, unsustainable costs and global trade realignment. But for those on the ground, these words felt cold and distant, unable to capture the human cost of the decision. To workers, it felt like betrayal. Years of loyalty, dedication, and hard work seemed to count for nothing in the face of corporate strategy and shifting markets. They'd built a legacy of excellence, now reduced to memories on Christmas Eve. Old photos and awards became bittersweet reminders of what once was. Team leaders gave emotional farewells, voices cracked as they thanked their teams for years of dedication, knowing these words could never fill the void left behind. Co-workers hugged, uncertain if they'd ever meet again. Lockers were emptied, mementos packed away, each item a piece of a life built inside those walls. As they left, they looked back at the silent plant, a cathedral of industry, now a monument to loss. The echoes of laughter, teamwork, and ambition lingered in the empty halls. Georgetown's heart had stopped, and the shock would ripple far beyond the factory gates. The loss was not just economic, but deeply personal, a wound that would take years to heal, if it ever did. The closure's shockwave hit Georgetown hard. For every lost factory job, several more in the community were at risk. Diners lost their morning rush, local suppliers faced empty order books, families gathered at kitchen tables, trading holiday plans for survival strategies. The promise of stability, health insurance, college, mortgages, was shattered. Anxiety and fear settled over thousands of homes. Local businesses felt the chill as disposable income dried up. The community's interconnectedness, once its strength, now exposed its vulnerability. School funding and local charities faced sudden shortfalls. The shutdown wasn't just economic, it tore at Georgetown's identity. The question now, who are we without Toyota? To truly grasp the depth of Georgetown's pain today, we have to look back to the 1980s, a time when this small Kentucky town was searching for hope and opportunity. When Toyota chose Kentucky for its first major U.S. plant, it was more than a business decision. It was a vote of confidence in American workers and the promise of a brighter future. The arrival of Toyota Motor Manufacturing Kentucky, or TMMK, in 1986, marked the beginning of a 4-decade legacy that would transform the region, bringing prosperity and pride to countless families. The plant didn't just offer jobs, it created lifelong careers, providing wages and benefits that helped build and sustain Kentucky's middle class for generations. The Toyota way, emphasizing quality, teamwork, and relentless improvement, quickly became woven into the local culture, shaping the work ethic and values of the entire community. Camrys built right here in Georgetown consistently topped U.S. sales charts, a testament to the skill, dedication, and pride of Kentucky's workforce. Toyota's commitment went beyond the factory walls. They invested in local schools, supported charities, and sponsored community events, becoming an integral part of Kentucky's social fabric. Over the years, this partnership felt unbreakable, a bond built on shared values, mutual respect, and a sense of belonging. That's why the sudden shutdown feels like a painful divorce, a tearing apart of a relationship that so many believed would last forever. Generations of families worked side by side, passing down skills and stories as the plant powered not just the local economy, but the very identity of the region. Its closure isn't just the loss of a major employer, it's the erasure of a legacy, a chapter of Kentucky's story suddenly brought to an end. Now the empty factory stands as a silent monument to a broken promise, echoing with memories of what once was, and the dreams that may never return. The story of Georgetown's downfall is a complex tale woven from the threads of global economics and high-stakes political gambles. Once a symbol of American manufacturing might, the plant's fate was sealed not by local missteps, but by forces far beyond its control. During the Trump administration, sweeping trade wars erupted, leading to steep tariffs on steel, aluminum, and a wide range of imported auto parts. These measures were intended to protect American industry, but they also triggered a cascade of unintended consequences. Toyota's famously efficient global supply chain, once its greatest strength, suddenly became a costly liability. As tariffs drove up the price of essential materials and components, the company's expenses soared, squeezing margins tighter than ever before. Tariffs on imported components, combined with retaliatory taxes imposed by other countries, slashed profits and shrank export markets. The ripple effects were felt not just in boardrooms, but on the factory floor and in communities that depended on these jobs. The Georgetown plant, originally designed to build sedans, was ill-equipped for the sudden surge in demand for SUVs and electric vehicles. Adapting to this new reality would require a complete overhaul. Retooling the facility for new models would demand massive investment, an almost impossible risk in such a volatile and unpredictable trade climate, where tomorrow's rules could change overnight. This uncertainty paralyzed long-term planning. Executives hesitated, unable to commit to new strategies, and Toyota found itself forced into a corner with few good options. Producing luxury sedans in Kentucky, once a point of pride, no longer made economic sense in a market that had shifted so dramatically. The shutdown wasn't a result of worker failure or lack of effort. It was collateral damage from a global trade war that upended the rules of the game and left thousands in limbo. Political decisions made in Washington had real, devastating consequences for American factory floors, reminding us that the impacts of policy can ripple through entire communities, changing lives forever. While Georgetown went dark, Huntsville, Alabama, was thriving. The new Mazda-Toyota manufacturing plant, opened in 2021, was built for the modern market. Its focus crossover SUVs for North America, not sedans for export. The Alabama plant's regional supply chain shielded it from global tariff shocks. It was a strategic pivot: local sourcing, local production, maximum efficiency. The plant produced high-demand models with cutting-edge technology. The lesson knew: nimble and locally focused beats large and globally entangled. Georgetown became a casualty of old rules. Alabama thrived by adapting. American manufacturing can succeed if it evolves with the times. Georgetown's closure sparked a political firestorm in Washington. Supporters of tariffs blamed Toyota, calling it a corporate betrayal. Critics called the shutdown a predictable result of reckless trade policy. The debate became a proxy war over America's economic soul. Meanwhile, Georgetown's workers were caught in the crossfire, pawns in a distant political game. For them, it wasn't about politics, it was about lost jobs and uncertain futures. The rhetoric offered no comfort, only highlighted Washington's disconnect. The closure raised tough questions about foreign investment and accountability. The political debate raged, but solutions were scarce. Georgetown's pain exposed deep divisions over how to protect American jobs in a global economy. Despite Georgetown's loss, Toyota isn't leaving America. The closure marks a strategic pivot, away from legacy models, toward the future. Toyota is investing billions in U.S. operations focused on electric vehicles and innovation. In North Carolina, a new battery plant will create thousands of high-tech jobs. Michigan's R&D centers are expanding, targeting autonomous tech and advanced manufacturing. The Alabama joint venture thrives, building SUVs for American buyers. Other U.S. plants are being retooled for new in-demand models. This is a business-driven realignment, not a retreat. For Georgetown's workers, the transition is painful and the new jobs far away. But Toyota's American story isn't over. It's entering a new chapter. The challenge ensures workers and communities aren't left behind. Georgetown's silent factory is a lesson for America's manufacturing future. First, stable, predictable policy is essential. Uncertainty kills investment. Second, massive investment in worker retraining is urgent. The skills of yesterday won't build tomorrow's EVs or software. Partnerships between companies, colleges, and government must create a talent pipeline. Third, innovation is non-negotiable. Resting on past success leads to obsolescence. The Alabama model shows the power of nimble, tech-driven production. Finally, Made in America now means smart integration with global supply chains. The goal isn't isolation, but building bridges for resilient, competitive manufacturing. Georgetown's story is a call to action for a smarter, stronger, industrial future. Georgetown's empty lots are a painful reminder. There are no easy answers. Global competition, technology, and policy shape our industrial fate. Nostalgia won't rebuild factories. Shouting in Washington won't feed families. Real progress demands strategy, investment, and adaptability. We need infrastructure for the 21st century, digital, energy, and human capital. Workers must be prepared for lifelong learning and new industries. Policy must reward long-term investment and public-private partnerships. Georgetown faces a hard road, but its spirit endures. Their story should spark national action. No community should face this alone. The lesson isn't despair, but urgency. We must build a new foundation for prosperity. The future of American manufacturing must be resilient, innovative, and built to last.